of January. What are we? January the 8th. And producer Jordan and I were having a conversation yesterday, and we asked the question, what happens to healthy meal companies in January? Do they get a big bounce in the way that gym memberships go up in January as everyone makes their New Year's resolution? So we reached out to Ciaran McDiamond, co-founder of Hundo, which is an aggregator app for healthy meal plans. And Ciaran said, absolutely, we've had a mega bounce this January. So he's in the studio to tell us more. Hey, Ciaran.
Good morning, Richard. How are you?
I'm good, thanks very much indeed. And you're well as well, because business is booming. Tell us the numbers.
So yeah, we've had a really strong start to the year, which we did anticipate. I think similar to gyms, as you say, when it comes to anything health related, January is always a really strong month. We performed better in December than we assumed we would. From the conversations that we had with the meal plan companies, they said that December is a really quiet month, things fall off. And we didn't see that as much as we expected. It kind of held steady. But obviously with January, people come back, there's New Year's resolutions, people want to reset after a sometimes indulgent festive period. So yeah, meal plans do really well. And we've seen a 145% increase in downloads and similar increase in order figures between the first 7 days of December and the first 7 days of January.
Yeah, you say 145% increase, more than doubled first week of January versus first week in December.
Yeah.
What are people buying?
So it's a range. A lot of people are going for weight loss plans. People come back, as I said, it's an indulgent period in December where we have one extra slice, we have one extra drink. And when we come back in January, often we look in the mirror when we arrive back after our flight and we don't always like what we see, or we don't see the same thing that we saw in December. A lot of people have big gym goals, so they want to gain a bit of muscle. So you're going for those high protein plans. And then some people just want a lifestyle plan where they've got big goals in January. They are not going to have as much time as they'd like. So ordering a meal plan just takes one thing off their plate.
What's the typical order size for you on a weekly basis?
In terms of the...
How much is going to cost me or Tom to have a meal plan for a week if I book it through Hundo, which is an aggregator app? Typically, what do people spend per week?
So it really varies, because the minimum order amount in terms of the amount of meals can be 1 meal a day. And then some people go up to having 5 meals a day, so maybe 3 meals and 2 snacks. You're looking at anything between kind of 250 dirhams for the week up to sometimes 600 to 700.
But typical would be somewhere in the middle of that.
I would say so, yeah, around 300 to 400 dirhams for the week.
About 300 to 400 dirhams. One thing you say that isn't booming is vegan food. Veganuary is a marketing thing. I know you guys have been doing some stuff on social media, but you say the punters aren't buying it.
Yeah, we haven't seen a massive uptick in vegan meal plans, I think. I'm not sure exactly why that is. We've just seen a continuation in terms of people going for kind of standard plans that cater for all diets. We've got the options there, so if anyone is listening and they're tackling Veganuary, then we're here to help. But yeah, no massive increase in that.
Let's talk about the competitive landscape in meal plans and healthy food, because it's super competitive. We had last week on the show the guys from Callow, Bahraini company. Yeah. They just raised $25 million in funding. You know, they're a big player in the market. KCAL, perhaps one of the original names here, and so on. I could go on. Now, you're an aggregator rather than a meal plan provider.
Yeah.
But as an outsider looking in, it looks cutthroat competition, Ciaran. What's it like?
Yeah, I mean, it is. There's 150 plus meal plan companies out there, right? And the number seems to go up every single week. And that's one of the main reasons why we built the app in the first place. If you thought about the restaurant industry without the aggregator apps now, just the thought of wanting to order a pizza would be so overwhelming, right? You would have maybe probably 300-400 options in the UAE.
Did you remember it? And Tom, you remember it from back in the day, 20 years ago. You got a pizza.
Table.
Yeah. Where are you? Okay, so I'm in Karama. We're in Karama. Backside President Hotel was my usual one. But it was quite and then 3 times out of 4 it would turn up, but 1 time out of 4 it wouldn't. So I take your point.
Yeah, there's so much choice out there, and people want different things. People want different budgets, or people have different budgets. They want vegan options, perhaps. They want keto, paleo. There's so much out there. So by bringing it all onto one app, it just makes it so much easier for the consumer to find exactly what they want.
Well, you say, and here's the thing, though. You say bringing it all onto one app, but as an aggregator, obviously not all of the the meal providers are on the app. I mean, I've just been flicking through it now. I didn't see KCAL. I didn't see Callo. I'm sure there are others that are. There are many that are on there.
Yeah.
But as an aggregator, how do you persuade these guys to come on your app? Because you take a slice, don't you? I think you mentioned to us, is it 10%-ish your
correct.
margin?
Yeah.
So how do you persuade these guys to come on your app?
It's a matter of exposure. So we anticipated when we started the project last year, we knew that it would be easier to get the smaller players initially, the ones that have less order flow than the big names. Now, our strategy was always you bring those guys on, you offer something to the consumers that isn't there already, so you give them that choice. And then over time, once people see Hundo as the go-to place to get the meal plan, it's going to be inevitable that the bigger players are going to come on and join us. We've got a really big name coming onto the app in January, which we're really excited about. We've had a number of bigger players as the journey's gone on come to us. So over time, as was the case with the restaurant aggregators, I don't think you saw the big players like a McDonald's, Burger King, KFC's jumping at aggregators when they first started in the US. Over time, they're all on there, and that's what we anticipate for Hundo as well.
30 seconds left. You're 8 months old. Presumably you're not profitable yet. You're a tech startup, but it takes time. Fundraising. Callo's just raised $25 million. Clearly this kind of food tech, healthy food tech sector is interesting to the venture capital industry. What can you tell us about Hundo and fundraising?
So, yeah, we're having some really good conversations at the moment. I don't have any news to share. Go on, Ciaran. No one's listening. Just you and me. We've got good conversations going on at the moment, and hopefully we'll have something to share in a few weeks' time. But we're exploring options in that space. But
Ciaran, appreciate you coming in this morning. Thanks very much indeed. Talking about the healthy food industry, 157% bounce it's had in January versus December as people dive into their New Year's resolutions. Ciaran McDiamond of Hundo. Thank you.